So we're not on the river, are we?
Well, we're on the Mississippi River on a backwater of the river.
So, but it's called a lake?
But no, yeah, it's called a lake, but it's not really a lake at all.
So the sign lied?
Yeah, the
Didn't
sign
it say it was a lake?
Well, we're all liars around here.
Okay, there we go.
No, the river, the river is great, especially during the week. There'll be a few fishers out here, and then just a few of us maybe who mainly live on the river.
Yeah, right, because we're not in a hurry to get anywhere.
Right.
We just like being here. If we go back that way, we see a lot of turtles and herons and, a lot of animals.
Yeah.
The first year that Jerry and I had the boat here on the Mississippi, I didn't know about things called wing dams. They're underwater dams that are meant to scour the river and keep it channeling toward the main channel. So I went flying right over one and bent a steel prop.
Oh.
But I didn't take off the bottom of the boat, John.
Well,
So it could have been worse.
Real quickly, the Congress first said we'll have a 3-foot channel on the Mississippi River. Because it used to be so low, you could walk across in the summertime between Illinois and Iowa. And then they said, let's get a 6-foot channel. In order to do that, they built wing dams. Like every quarter mile, there's a wing dam, which was high, and it's like putting your thumb on a hose. It would make the river squirt down the middle and scour out its own channel. And so that worked for a while, but then Congress declared that there's going to be a 9-foot channel, which is what we have today. In order to do a 9-foot channel, they built locks and dams, and all the wing dams are now buried. And that's why you see all these buoys, because a buoy usually marks the end of a wing dam, so be careful when you go over it, or to a fisherman, go there because there's a lot of good fish right by the wing dams. Julian Dubuque was a French Canadian. When he realized that this land was actually owned by the Spanish, he submitted a claim to the governor of this part of Mexico, saying that he would call this area the Mines of Spain. And this was very advantageous to the Spanish because they wanted to have people who were on their side and help establish order, if you will. So on this side, this was where the Meskwaki Indians lived. And they were there when Julian Dubuque was here. Dubuque had his trading post here, and he had furs, beaver furs, deer furs, as well as lead mining and supplies. And then he lived further up the creek. And there's some gorgeous bluffs here, and he's buried at the top of that bluff. And he was buried in 1810 when he died, and then they built the monument in 1896. Wow. So I always just imagine that the miners and the Meskwaki Indians and Julian Dubuque and the traders coming up and Zebulon Pike coming up. And I mean, this is the beginning of the Euro-American settlement of Dubuque.
And it looked just like this, I bet. I mean,
very much so.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
Wow.
And every once in a while you'll hear stories of, adventurers who try to climb the wall, and occasionally it's not a very happy story, not a happy ending at all.
Let's not tell that one, Jerry, okay?
I don't.
Jerry.
We don't
That's
need
not
that
what this
story.
show's about.
This is a happy show.
And then, wow, he took a left turn we had no idea was coming.
So it's kind of, Dubuque right now, there's a huge development going on the west end. Downtown is revived, and it's just great. We were in between those two. So historic neighborhood. We lived
So was it up?
It was up the bluff.
It
Yep,
was?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the big division. Up the bluff, down the bluff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And reasonable housing.
Oh, is it ever, John?
Yeah.
But it's not a big city.
Right.
This is what it's like in the part of America where I didn't grow up.
Right. Right.
And you'll see as we're headed up there, you can just see it's more industrial as we approach. This is much more natural.
Yeah.
John, in here too, that's all nature trails. That's completely undeveloped. So when you asked earlier about pretty much like it was, no lock and dam, no navigation, nothing in there.